Hello my dear students, welcome to history class. Today from your history portion, that is chapter number 3, decline of the Mughal Empire, we will be discussing about the overall summary wise as well as the topics which are related with this chapter. First and foremost, before starting the class, I would like to give you a short introduction about the Mughal Empire. We all know Mughal Empire is regarded as one of the greatest dynasty or empire in India, which ruled for nearly 3.5 centuries. So 1526 till 1857, this was the exact year period when the Mughal Empire started reigning its old kingdom in the India. 1526, Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur, he was the main founder of the Mughal Empire after defeating Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat in 1526. After defeating him, he set a good foundation of the Mughal Empire. And 1857 is the year when there was the last emperor known as Bahadur Shah II, also known as Bahadur Shah Jafar, who was the last ruler of the Mughal dynasty, and he was being executed, he was being thrown by the British government in a Rangoon, a place under Burma country and at present we known as Myanmar country. So now we just see the focusing on the Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, he was the son of Shahjahan. Shahjahan actually had got 4 sons, Dara, Murad, Sukho and Aurangzeb. But ultimately Aurangzeb, with the help of his officers, with many of his nobles, he conspired against his 3 brothers, and finally after killing them, Aurangzeb, he became the next king after his father's death, Shahjahan. So Aurangzeb, he ruled nearly for 5 decades, that is 50 years, and within that 5 decades or 50 years, he made lots of implementation, lots of good setback for his empire to be one of the great as well as strong, so that none other than any of the Hindu king, Sikh king or Maratha king could come and have a revolting and getting a victory over Mughal Empire. Next we see what were the steps or what were the programs that were taken by Aurangzeb. First and foremost, we see about the Mansabdari system. Actually this Mansabdari system was established by Akbar the Great, and even he followed the same policy of Akbar by giving lots of ranking ministers to different types of person. For example, like Minister of Affairs, Minister of Rules and Regulations, Taxation and so on. And after that even he reissued Jizya tax. Jizya tax was one of the tax where non-Muslims had to pay a money to the Mughal Empire. But when when Akbar was the king, he just abolished, he just put a full stop or banning on this Jizya tax. But Aurangzeb, he again reissued this Jizya tax, and there were lots of chaos, lots of problems among the common people, that non-Muslim like Sikhs, Hindus, they had to pay annually a tribute, a kind of amount that was been fixed by the Aurangzeb. Next we talk about the 2 sects of Muslims known as Shia and Sunni. Even under the Shia and Sunni, how Aurangzeb made lots of partiality. There were lots of differences, lots of partiality were done between Sunni faith or the Shia faith, and that also led one of the main reasons that why Aurangzeb is also known as Jinda Pir, or why Aurangzeb is regarded as not a great king or a very lovable king by all those kinds of subjects. Next we talk about the East India Company. We all know East India Company, they came to India as a trader just to having a business purposes with all the Indian states. And during those times, there was the power that won under the Aurangzeb. But one more thing I would like to add on this topic, that Jahangir, the son of Akbar as well as the father of Shahjahan, he was one of the great ruler of Mughal dynasty, and under his supervision, under his guidance, he had given a permission to all the East India Company to have a trading business with all the Indian states, and that made in the year of 1615, where two sir came known as Sir William Hawkins and Sir Thomas Roe. And after the permission was given, every time the East India Company, they used to come to India for having lots of profits, investing amount and taking lots of the profits they could do from those kinds of Indian states. Next we see with the topic known as what were the main causes or what were the main reasons that led to the decline of Mughal Empire. The first and foremost we see with the topic known as wars of succession. That means after the death of Aurangzeb, ruling for almost 5 decades, whoever kings or whoever like an emperor or any such kind of prince came after him, they were not so efficient. They did not have good kind of knowledge regarding how to make a kingdom very powerful, how to give a proper training to all the armies, soldiers, etc. No proper weapons, etc. And for that reason, it was one of the main causes for the decline of Mughal Empire. Next, inefficient successor, meaning is almost same. And third, we see about the Jagidari crisis. So Jagidari crisis, where lots of landlords, they were taking lots of amount from the patient farmer, and ultimately there were lots of problems that led to the causes for the decline. Fourth, we see with empty treasures. So when all the kings, whoever came after Aurangzeb, inefficient, they could not rule in a very proper way, and every time they used to just spend the money on different types of field, and slowly the amount from the treasure started reducing, and it became one of the weak empire. And the last topic, that is known as foreign invasion. That is, from the foreign countries, 2 main kings came during the time of Bahadur Shah I or Akbar II, etc. And they were known as Nadir Shah and Ahmad Shah Abdali. Nadir Shah, he came to India in the year of 1739, and firstly he attacked Punjab state. And Punjab, being one of the main important state of India, was being taken by Nadir Shah. And Nadir Shah, he was a very great king. He had got lots of tactics, ideas, how to have a battle, how to go for a revolt and get a victory, because his planning was completely opposite than the later Mughals after Aurangzeb's death. Next, even Nadir Shah took the peacock throne of Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan is very much famous for Taj Mahal, for erecting Taj Mahal for his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal, at the same time with this topic known as peacock throne. And even he took the Kohinoor, one of the famous precious diamond from India, to his own nation. And next, the last, that is known Ahmad Shah Abdali. Ahmad Shah Abdali is very much famous for having the third battle of Panipat in the year of 1761 against the Marathas, and that ultimately led both the foreign kings to be one of the super kings. They made lots of impact on the Indian states, and finally they put their good setup or hold against those kinds of Indian states. So this was the overall scenario about the third chapter about the decline of Mughal Empire. So if you have got any doubt, you can just clarify with me. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.